Good afternoon. How's it going? I'm coming to you here from Corona del Mar in California. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between being alone and being lonely. This has been a real theme in my life recently, and so it's something I want to share with you with what I have discovered for myself and what I've really started to come to realize as I spend more time alone and deepen my spirituality and really connect in with myself, and yet don't have that feeling of loneliness that I used to carry around with me. Orion, the mountain dreamer, she says, my favorite phrases by her in her poem, The Invitation, says, can you keep company of yourself, and do you like what you keep when you're in the empty moments? So similar to that. And in my early 20s to late 20s to even early 30s, I couldn't be alone. And although I was surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people all of the time, I was very lonely. And so what did I do to make that change, to make that difference? I did a lot of things. Well, I did drugs. I had a lot of parties at my house to keep people around me. I had lots of people always in my space. I had my own home, and I had like roommates. I would just give people places to stay. I would have 30 and 40 people at my place at a time. Anything so that I couldn't be alone. Although yet amongst all of these hundreds of people, thousands of people that knew me in Columbus, Ohio, I always felt lonely. And it was because I was searching for a deeper meaning, a deeper truth to myself, something that I hadn't quite understood or figured out yet. And I've been traveling alone for many, many years. Back in my 20s, I traveled alone, not for the same reasons that I do today. They weren't quite the most upstanding reasons in the world, but I used to travel alone a lot. And I would meet people everywhere I would go, and I always still felt lonely because I would make sure that I surrounded myself with people. And now what I've noticed is I've been traveling a lot and have my loved ones and my companions that I get to travel with often. And then I cherish and relish that time that I get to spend alone. So I'm here in California and I'm alone and I'm not lonely. I actually my normal thing on a Friday night would be go have dinner, meet some friends out, maybe have a drink at a bar, hang out, do whatever, if I wasn't, into some sort of fitness or something like that, and then go home and go to bed. So this past Friday, I did something completely different, and I went and met a former client for dinner, and then I drove by the bar where there's, a nice gay bar here in town, and it's like, oh, I can go meet some new people. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And I went home and I journaled for 2 or 3 hours, and some beautiful poetry came out of me. Some really amazing, deep thoughts. And I felt at peace. I felt okay. And I know that for me to not be alone anymore, if I ever want to really find what I want in my life and to not live a life alone, I first had to learn how to be alone with myself and to not be lonely in my own company and to love who I was and to love that place where I'm at. And I see this happens a lot with healers and shamans and people that are out there trying to save the world, is we haven't yet learned how to save ourselves. And so we're using that as a way we're using our pieces of healing others as a way to heal ourselves. And I've been through that journey of healing others, heals myself. I say every client that I work with heals me in some sort of way. And so I'm on this healing journey, and I've found another piece of it in the fact that, yes, I'm alone in my life right now. I'm an empty nester. My daughter just went to college. I left my ex last year. I have a lover, but she's not around. All of these different things that are going, that I'm alone, and I have to learn to be okay with that. And it's been a scary process for me because I've realized that I've been traveling for 18 months, going from place to place, speaking and doing things, and I haven't settled into a home. I haven't settled into my own place yet since I left Miami in South Florida. And I came to the realization the other day that the reason is because my definitions of home have changed, that definition. And I was afraid of going back to being alone. And I realized that I'm never alone because I have my guides, I have myself, and I have someone to count on. And so therefore, it's going to be a lot easier for me to finally decide, where do I want to land? What do I want to do? I've looked at going to New York. I'm out here in California right now, looking at all these options and realizing that my idea of what I thought was the fairy tale dream is maybe different than what I expected in the beginning. But I have found myself in all of this, and that's the most powerful and important part of it, that I found myself again, whether I was lost or not. So I just wanted to share with you the difference between alone and lonely. And if you would share in the comments below, let me know, have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt alone and lonely? And what's the difference for you? Like I said, I was lonely in the midst of hundreds of thousands of people at times, and now I'm by myself and I'm no longer lonely. So share below. And I'm also running a contest right now. So if you're interested, I'm giving away 1 month of free coaching, $2,000 value worth there. So if you're interested in working with me and you want to enter the contest, hop over onto my page, check it out. I'll leave the link below, and get the contest rules, because I would love to take an opportunity to work with you. And so you can experience a little bit of the difference between alone and lonely, if that's where you're at, and how you can build something new. Bye from Cali. Talk to you later. As soon as I figure out how to turn this off.